Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's on the mind of every entrepreneur, innovator, or anyone who's ever had a brilliant idea. How do you take that spark and turn it into an actual solid plan? Well, we're going to show you how to do it on just a single page.
So let's start with a feeling I bet you've had. That light bulb moment. You come up with a world-changing idea, something you know could be huge. The possibilities feel absolutely endless.
The excitement is electric, right? But it's almost always followed by that overwhelming question. Okay, what do I actually do now? How do you take this amazing concept and give it some real structure?
Well, what if I told you there's a tool that does exactly that? It cuts right through the chaos and gives you a simple visual map for what can feel like a really complex journey.
So, what is this magical one-page plan? At its heart, it's just a way to see your entire business model at a glance. But before we get to the map itself, let's make sure we're on the same page about what a business model even is.
That's the textbook definition. But here's what it really means. It's the basic logic of how your company works. It answers the most fundamental questions. Who are my customers? What unique thing am I offering them? And, of course, how is this whole operation going to make money?
And this is the tool we're going to use. It's called the Business Model Canvas. It was developed by Alexander Osterwalder with a really clear goal: to make business modeling simple, visual, and something you can do with your team. It takes all those big, messy questions and organizes them neatly on one page.
So how does it work? Well, the canvas is made up of 9 essential building blocks, and each one covers a really critical part of any business, from the people you serve all the way to how you get paid. And here it is, the whole shebang. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It looks a little busy, right? A bit intimidating. But don't worry. The secret is to think of it not as 9 boxes, but as 3 simple stories that every single business has to tell. We're going to start on the right side of the canvas. Why? Because every great business begins with the customer. This is the front stage. It's everything your customer actually sees and interacts with. So let's break that down. Okay, so your customer story has 4 main chapters. It starts with customer segments. Who exactly are you building this for? A massive market or a tiny niche? Then, your value proposition. What's your big promise to them? What makes you so special? After that, channels. How do you actually reach them? A classic example is Dell, who flipped the industry on its head by selling PCs directly online. And finally, customer relationships. What's the vibe between you and your customers? Think about Apple's App Store. They built this amazing win-win ecosystem with developers. All 4 of these have to click together. All right, now let's peek behind the curtain. We're moving to the left side of the canvas. If the right side was the front stage, this is your backstage. It's the engine room, all the things your customer never sees, but that are absolutely vital to making the whole show work. This backstage story has 3 key parts. First, key activities. What are the most critical things your company must do to succeed? For Cisco, it's their mastery of the supply chain. Then, key resources. What are your must-have assets? For Apple, it is in factories. It's their incredible brand and all that valuable intellectual property. And you rarely go it alone, which brings us to key partnerships. Just look at how Intel built an absolute empire by partnering with PC manufacturers. And finally, we get to the foundation of the entire canvas, the 2 blocks at the bottom that hold everything else up. This is the part that proves your business can actually survive and thrive. This is where the rubber meets the road. You've got your cost structure on one side, that's all the money going out, and your revenue streams on the other, that's all the cash coming in. For a business to work, it's pretty simple. The money coming in has to be more than the money going out. That's the bottom line. Okay, so now you get the 9 building blocks. The next logical question is, how do you actually use this thing? Well, the beauty of the canvas is its speed. You can honestly sketch out an entire business idea in less than an hour. So, how do you start? It's a simple 4-step process. First, just get yourself a canvas. Print a big one, use a digital version, whatever. Second, grab a bunch of sticky notes and just brainstorm. Let the ideas flow for each of the 9 blocks. Don't judge, just write. Step 3 is where it gets interesting. You start to connect the dots. You ask, how does this partner affect my costs?
Does this channel really reach my customers? And the final step, which is maybe the most important, is to iterate. This is not a one-and-done deal. It's a living, breathing document that you should constantly update as you learn.
All right, so you've done it. Your canvas is filled with sticky notes, you've connected the dots, but how do you know if what you've created is actually any good? What are the signs of a really strong business model? Well, while every business is different, the best models tend to share a few traits. Of course, they're profitable. They're also built for longevity, not just to cash in on a passing fad. They're simple enough to manage and portable enough to maybe expand into new markets. And here's a big one a lot of companies aim for: recurring revenue. Think subscriptions. That kind of stable, predictable income is a game changer.
But at the end of the day, the canvas is an incredible tool for thinking, but success only comes from doing. And this quote just nails it. You can design the most brilliant, elegant model on paper, but if you can't get out there and actually convince people to buy what you're selling, it's just not going to work. So the one-page plan is waiting. It's ready for you. The only real question left is, what's that first big idea that you're going to map out? It's your turn to make that concept clear, tangible, and actionable. That's our explainer for today.